I'm being an islander. I'm literally just being an islander. Just gonna wait a little bit, see if someone's gonna join the live. Let's see if I can chop this up. I'm just trying to chop up the coconut. It didn't give me much water. Happy Sunday. Just cheers to the new week. Ooh. I don't care what nobody tell me. Fresh coconut. This is what I'm trying to chop up. It's so thick in there. Little by little. How's it going? Okay. I'm on made up because I went to the ice cream museum earlier. I had such a great time. I vlogged a little bit, didn't really, took some pictures. I'm sorry, y'all. We can chit chat. We're gonna chit chat. We're gonna chit chat. So, I have been house sitting for the last year, right? And honestly, well, prior to house sitting, let me say the way God works. So prior to house sitting, I'll give you a little life update and what I've learned. So prior to house sitting, back in December, early January of 2023, I was supposed to buy a house in Georgia. I literally pulled out on the deal right before I had to put the earnest. I don't know if my lashes are winging or something. Yeah, but so I pulled out of the deal right before I needed to provide the earnest money. Reason being, something about God, like I've always moved when I had peace. And so I wanted to buy the house. We got the inspection. The inspection report came back. The guy was very detailed with the inspection. And one of the things I also learned during that process is that to never use an inspector that your realtor recommends. My brother told me that, and I'm glad he told me that because I've heard so many disaster stories from people that after they took the recommendation of their realtor to get the inspection, and it turns out they were working hand in hand with one another, and they ended up getting a bad deal. So my brother told me, hey, don't get the inspection, don't get the inspector from your realtor. Go online, find your own inspector. That was probably the best advice I've ever gotten in life, because the inspection report that I got back, the roof was about 20 years old, so the roof needed to get done. And a lot of other minor things in there. So, and I still, I asked the inspector guy, I'm like, hey, because he had 5-star reviews, really great reviews. Everybody raved about him. And I can tell why, just based on his report. I mean, he's very thorough. He'll tell you if there was a nail missing from a piece of wood, okay? So I really appreciated them. So I asked them, I was just honest, say, if you have any questions, reach out to me. So went home, laid there. I debated for so long, like I debated a day or two. And after I think I had like 3 days left. And I'm praying about it, but I'm not feeling easy about it at all. I'm just feeling so uneasy. I'm feeling troubled. I can't sleep. And it's like, okay, you're about to take all this money and put it down on a house. Are you sure this is the house you want? Now, it wasn't my dream home, but the kitchen was nice. And at the point that my apartment had just burnt, and I really just wanted somewhere to call home. And it's like, I didn't even have my things in storage at the time. Matter of fact, my house, hold on, I'm gonna put this coconut down right here before I have to chop it up. But since I'm telling y'all the story. So my apartment burnt on November 30th, and November 30th, the apartment caught on fire. By the first week of December, I was purchasing a home. By the first week of December, I was literally purchasing a home. And this is when, like sometimes God has to put it on pause, because for years, I wanted to buy a home. I'm like, oh, I'm going to purchase a home. I'm going to get a home. I'm going to get a home. And it's like, slow feet don't eat, I guess. I was like, okay, but I still didn't feel comfortable. But as soon as the apartment caught on fire, it was like, okay, I'm not getting another apartment. They offered me another apartment, but it's going to be smaller than the one I have, and it's going to be more money. Like the money, I was already paying almost $3,000 for my apartment. It just wasn't going to happen, right? So then I was like, okay, I'm going to buy this apartment. I'm going to purchase this home. Like, I realized, I think I was at the apartment for like 7 years, 8 years. If I calculated how much rent I paid, I honestly, I'm embarrassed. So I decided to make a better decision this time. I have my daughter, I have my boyfriend. I'm like, okay, we're just going to purchase a home. Let's relocate, purchase a home. I was not, hold on, a piece of coconut. Hold on, y'all. Ooh. So I was not satisfied. So when I got the inspector report, there were so many minor issues. The main issue was the roof, and I had an AC issue. Now, I should have known, because when I walked in the home, they had like those old AC boxes, the control panel, and it was brown, it was old. So you can tell they did remodeling on the home, and not the best remodeling, but they kind of make it more modern, right? But they didn't replace the AC unit, and as well as the thingy. And we had some other issues. They had like a water heater. The water heater failed their inspection as well. There wasn't any ventilation in that room. So there was other issues, but issues that could be fixed. So I was uneasy. I called the inspector guy, and I was like, hey, I'm not sure if you give opinions, but if I was your daughter, I would like an opinion. Would you recommend that I purchase this home? And he told me, he was like, to be honest with you, it is a good buy for the property and the land that you're getting. I mean, it was a home. Was it 3-4 bedrooms? The bedrooms weren't as big, but it had a den, which had so we had a little family room. Then it had like a little barn area outside, which we were going to turn into an entertainment center. Then it was so much that the land would have provided. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, so it would have given me so much. I would have received so much property for the price. But then he said, honestly, it is going to be a lot of work to maintain. The house was on a slope and it was leaning down. And he was like, ultimately it's really up to me. If I'm willing to invest and put in all that, then okay. But if not, if it's something that I want to move in ready, it's probably not the best buy. Cut the deal. I called the realtor. I was like, cut the deal. It's okay. And I spent what, $450 for the inspection. I spent days looking for a home with the realtor. Mind you, had to get a rental, drive out to Georgia. It was a lot invested into it, but like looking back now, because I'm house sitting, I realized that was the best decision I could have made, because the home that I'm house sitting, it's a beautiful home. It's a beautiful home. The kitchen, I'm in love. I'm in love. It's like my dream kitchen. It has all the storage possible. I love the kitchen. It has a window. You can overlook the pool area. I say all that to let y'all know. Sometimes you may want something and God's gonna put a pause on it, but don't get upset, because the home that I wanted would have taken a lot of work to fix. And I'm watching my sister-in-law go through so much with her home. right? And it's like expenses that I personally don't have the finances to deal with all these expenses. Like my mother-in-law is getting her roof done right now, and I'm dealing with the roofers asking, look, shopping around, and 45,000. She wants the metal roofs. Even without the metal roofs, if I just want the regular tile roofs, it's 22,000, $25,000 just for the roof. These are just funds you need to have readily available. An AC unit, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for an AC unit, because her AC went out. It's just, she just spent $3,000 to almost 3,000, 2,000 some change to, what is that thing? Something with the AC. They had to take out all the filters and stuff in it. It was just, it's too much. It's too much. I'm overlooking a pool area right now. The pool is green. Imagine buying a home, having to pay for a mortgage for it. You just had electrical issues. Spent a couple thousands on that. You came in, the water heater issue, you spent a couple thousands on that. I wasn't ready. God, when you work, do it on your timing. That's why I say, God, when he feels like I'm ready, I'll be ready. But right now, I will leave this house and go to another apartment and be at peace. Because when I lived in my apartment for 7 to 8 years, I was comfortable. When something went wrong, they fixed it. I didn't have to worry. I literally just put a maintenance order in and they fixed it. Like, I'm not prepared to spend $20,000, $30,000. I'm not blessed in that aspect of my life yet. And you just got to be real with yourself. Sometimes it's just being honest. Like, you can't put $20,000, $30,000 down on a home, need $20,000, $30,000 to do the roof. Then you have regular maintenance, maybe things you don't even have to upgrade the carpet. You get a pool, you have to maintain the pool. Now the pool pump is out. It's too much. Apartment me, please. I would take an apartment. I see. Like, I'm so glad that I made that decision, because I think I would have been highly upset had I purchased that home. And I look at the home. Every time I go to Georgia, I drive past by it, and I always laugh because I have a photo in front of the house as if it was going to be our home, right? And ultimately, I did like the kitchen. I liked the home. I didn't like the bedroom. Then it was I could still buy it because I could just knock the walls out and combine the two rooms together. It would make a real large room that I really wanted in a big closet. Like, I started doing those things, right? My daughter's room was fine. Then I was trying to find a home where I can have a room for my mom plus a guest room. I just wanted too much. I really just wanted too much. And I'm just glad that God put it on my heart to put a pause on it. Like, I was comfortable enough. And sometimes you can be timid, because had I not, I could have just went on with the deal, paid the earnest money, and I would have been locked into the deal. But to be able to have enough confidence to call the realtor and say, hey, I don't mean to waste your time, but I want to pull out of the deal. And, I appreciate her too. She didn't try to talk me into it. She was just like, hey, go with your heart. Whatever you do, I support it. I understand that you didn't receive the best inspection report, and, there's a lot of money you have to pour into this home. So if you choose not to go ahead with it, I support it 100%. We could keep looking. And that's what we did, but we didn't keep looking. I came back home. I was like, yeah, I need to pray about this a little bit more. And I really, truly do. I really, truly do need to pray about it a little bit more, because I was making a hasty decision by deciding to move out of town. Because I just wanted a home. At this point, I feel like I deserved a home. It was like righteous me. Like, I deserved a home. I'm so sick and tired of this apartment going through it. And I was grateful for my apartment up until the day the apartment caught on fire. Imagine that. I had literally just signed my lease. And honestly, my lease didn't even start yet, because the lease would have started in January. I think like January 5th or 6th. And I signed, and it was November 30th is when the house caught on fire. So I would have signed the lease. I signed the lease. It didn't even start yet. And then by the time it caught on fire, I'm acting all ungrateful. Like, oh, I don't even want to stay here. I can't believe I've been here so long. All this money I wasted. But I was happy to pay that. I paid that rent on the 1st every month. I was grateful for that apartment. I was grateful. I didn't give any complaints. I didn't have any issues at all. I felt secured in that apartment. The spacing was good. And imagine, I had a 2-bedroom apartment. It was 2-bedroom, 2-bath, split concept. I had a patio. I put full grass on my patio. I had 2 lounge chairs. Like, it was very beautiful the way I decorated. It was very homey. I was never the type of girl. I like to make my home very comfortable. I loved my home up until the day that it caught on fire. And all of a sudden, I couldn't stand it. I want to get out. I need a home right now. And I can't believe now, just thinking about it, I can't believe I had that ungrateful heart, because I should have just been grateful. I should have been grateful. I had the apartment. God allowed me to have a job to pay for it every month on the 1st. I had so many great memories there. I raised my daughter in that home. The maintenance guys loved me there. They would always make sure that I was taken care of. I had neighbors that were nice. I had some that were, because I was there so long, my neighbors were in and out. Sometimes someone would stay there a year, leave 2 years. It was one time one of my neighbors left, and I was walking one day with my daughter, and I was like, oh, what are you guys doing here? It's like, oh, we still live here. We just moved into a 2-bedroom because she had a baby. I didn't even know the neighbor was pregnant. I thought she just gained weight. I did not know she was pregnant. I was so shocked. I was like, oh, you had a baby. I just knew they had 2 dogs. I did not know she was pregnant. She was a school teacher. She was a school teacher because the walls were thin and I could hear her during the pandemic. You could hear her teaching and stuff on Zoom. So, but yeah, it's just I've been having an ungrateful heart. I don't want to say disgusted, but sometimes, I like to take a step back and just think about my life, and I'm like, you were so ungrateful at that moment, Woodleen. Like, I was taken care of. God, that's one thing I can say. And I was driving the other day, and God, I just give God all the praise, because I was driving the other day and I was just thinking about it. I've been through a lot. Listen, you know how they say everyone got a sad story, baby. I got a sad story. When I tell you sad, I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through, but I have an extremely sad story. A very sad story where right now you might just want to give me a hug. That's how sad my story is. My story is extremely sad. But I don't live in those sadness. I don't live in that area. I try not to linger in some bad issues for so long, or bad thoughts, bad experiences for too long. I try not to. I forgot how many years ago, but I started this thing in my mind. I would only allow myself to be upset at a situation for no longer than 2 days. That's it. You piss me off, 2 days is the max you get to piss me off. Because on the 3rd day, I gotta go. Life has to keep pushing. Things have to keep going. I cannot sit there and continue to talk about the same things. And right now, that's what I'm training my mind on. It's like repeating the same sad story over and over again, right? Something happens. I'm out here giving y'all this coconut as if it's on display. But yeah, like something happens, right? Plain example, real life example. I got into a car accident. It's almost 30 days ago. 30 days ago, November. What are we in, May? June. May 27th. Coming home from dropping my daughter off to school. My fault. I got into a car accident. And I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't. Reason being is I've been working on so much this year. Within the last, I'll say since March, within the last, like I work out, I get up and I go walking. I started, using my dumbbells to lift weight, do some weightlifting, high impact training and stuff. And what I find is that if you go through something sad in life and you continuously talk about it, you remain in that space, right? So I went through a car accident, yes. I called my boyfriend, I told him, okay, he knows. I called my daughter's father to let him know so that he can, pick her up from school, knowing that I won't be able to drop her off. So I made arrangements for her with him, right? I was on the phone with my sister earlier that morning, so I called her and I was like, hey, I just got into a car accident, girl. And she's like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'll send you pictures. She knew. That's all. Nobody else needed to know. Now, mind you, I already had to explain the story to 3 individuals. Now, if I have to call my other 2 siblings to tell them, I have to call my mother, I have to call my father, I have to call my boyfriend's mom, I gotta call his sisters, I gotta call my friend. I just told my friend the other day, this weekend, as a matter of fact, yesterday is when I texted her and actually finally told her. This is somebody I used to talk to every day, to tell her, hey, I got into a car accident. Who else? I had to tell my manager what happened. Now, you keeping count? Because I lost count already, right? How many days, how many weeks, how many months am I going to continuously tell the same sad darn story? Like, at what point do you get tired of telling the same story? Now, I would have lived in that moment. And my biggest fear with the car accident is I didn't want to become one of those folks that was afraid to drive. That was my first accident ever. And I hear so many sad stories with women that's getting into car accidents, and it's like they're in their 40s or they're in their 50s, 60s, and like, oh, I don't drive. They got to wait for a ride. Why don't you drive? Oh, I got into a car accident, and I've been terrified ever since. Too independent for that. I really am way too independent for that. Like, I have a child to take care of. Like, I can't catch the bus. I can if I have to, but I don't want to catch the bus. I want to be able to drive myself around. I don't want to inconvenience someone by sitting around at the house all day waiting on someone to pick me up to take me where I got to go, or I got to catch an Uber to go to the grocery store. No. So I didn't want to sit in that sad story. I didn't want people to keep telling me, oh, it could have been worse. You could have lost your life. Don't remind me. I know I could have lost my life. I absolutely know. I'm 100% sure that I could have lost my life in that car accident. And the only person, I could think for that is God. Sorry, y'all, I feel like my hair is so, because I'm outside, it's so frizzy. But I absolutely could have lost my life in that car accident. I'm very well aware. I sat in that car in shock. And you ever been in shock to the point like the guy's coming back, he's like, oh, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. He's like, how did it happen? I don't know. We're here now. I don't know if I'm at fault. I don't know if the car in front of me stopped. I can't remember because I froze. Okay? Like, I'm just happy to be alive. I wasn't hurt. I didn't have any bruises. I didn't have a headache afterwards. I came home, took 2 ashwagandha so I can relax my brain. And you know what? Honestly, I had already called out. As soon as it happened, I texted my boss. I said, I'm going to be out today. Just got into a car accident. But I got home and guess what I did? I logged into work. Because I'm not allowing negative and bad things to control my life anymore. I have done that for years, decades. I'm in my late 30s. I have allowed things to control me. All it takes is one, like I could have had a whole plan, which is what happened with the car accident. Kyle arrives. I don't know what that is. Okay, Kyle arrives. But now I got distracted. I've allowed so many bad things in life to control how I maneuver in life, right? Prior to the car accident, I had a plan. I said, hey, you're gonna focus on YouTube. You're gonna post a long form video every day for 30 days. On the 27th, I get into a car accident. What do you think is gonna happen now? Now I need 30 days to reset, to get my mind together, to get my body together, to not feel sadness anymore, to feel energized and to feel motivated. Like, I'm not going to allow that to demotivate me. I'm sorry. I just don't. I didn't want to go through that. I've done that. I've made the sorry excuses. I've made plenty of excuses. And again, I got a sad story to tell. I could use my sad story as to why I can't do it and why life woe is me. I don't want to be woe is me anymore. I'm over the woe is me. Bad things happen to good people sometimes. And if it's not good people, bad things happen, period. Period. Bad things are just going to happen. And you can't allow bad things to control your life. You absolutely cannot allow bad things to control your life. So that's what I learned. That's what I'm learning. I'm accepting of a lot of things that happened in my past. So that sad story I had, it's no longer sad in my mind. It's me understanding that things happen in my life for a reason. Like, the way I was raised or the way I grew up is different than some of my siblings. And it's not spoken about enough of older daughters, like older kids, like the first child. I'm not the first child, I'm the first daughter. No one cares about my sad story. No one cares about the fact that I had to be the one to take care of my siblings. No one cares about the fact that I didn't have an older sister to take care of me. I didn't have any older sister. I had to figure things out. No one told me what to do. No one laid out the groundworks for me. No one gave me anything. I didn't have handouts. I didn't have hand-me-downs, okay? I'm the one that give out hand-me-downs. I don't. I didn't have a sister to take me shopping and tell me the right things to wear. I didn't have any of that. And honestly, I grew up without a mom in my teenage years when I needed her the most because my mom had to move away. We lived in a different country. So I grew up by myself. I was 16-year-old. I raised myself. 16 with a job. I had real life responsibilities. Some kids, they get a car and their parents put them on their insurance. No, I didn't have parents to put on the insurance. I paid $300-something a month for my insurance because the day I got my license is the day I went to get insurance. I didn't have any driving history at all. I got a sad story too. But I don't want it to continuously control my narrative of where I'm at in life, where I'm going to go in life. I'm accepting of the sad story. And honestly, the more I pray on it, the more I continue to dig deeper with Christ, it's not as sad. It's not as sad. It starts to make sense for me. I'm appreciative of it because it made me stronger. It taught me how to live, how to survive. Like, I can survive off of nothing. I can survive off a lot. I'm very knowledgeable. Like, people that meet me always tell me, you're so resourceful, you know so much. I had to learn a lot. I had to learn a lot. At every experience, I had to research. With every experience I've had in life, I've had to research. I became the research queen. I know how to cook, I know how to clean, I know what cleaning products to use, what not to use, but I've done a lot of research. I know a lot about my body and what to, I know a lot about herbs and stuff like that. Why? Because I had to research. But had I had an older sister, I would have just done what I was told and never had to learn on my own. So because of my sad story, I now have resources to help others. So it's not as sad. A friend can call me and say, hey girl, I got this going on or whatever. I'm like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. How do you know? Why is it so easy for you? To me, it's like common sense when issues arise, but to others, it's kind of like they're lost. But I realize it's my sad story that allowed me to know how to maneuver in life. So how I survived because of my sad story. So don't let your sad story get you down. Cheers to our sad stories. We all got them. Coconut water. Cheers. We all got a sad story. And if you don't have a sad story, you had portions of your life that was sad. Like, how long you going to tell the sad story? I can tell y'all my sad story. I want to hear my sad story. I could absolutely tell you my sad story. You will be sad. Like, I cannot watch this deportation thing with ICE and all. I can't watch it because I experienced it in real life. I experienced it in real life. Separating from your parents, I experienced it in real life. Being in a Chrome Center, I experienced it in real life. I'm an immigrant. So stuff like that break my heart, so I don't watch the news. Not because I don't care, but because I've experienced it. So no one really knows what it feels like unless you've been there. Unless you had to sleep on them hard beds with strangers that you didn't know. I've been there. I got a sad story. Don't let the pretty face fool you. My story is sad. It's very sad. But that's not the end of my story. It's really not. It's not the end of my story. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of my sad story. That's all. It's part of my sad story. I have no business eating this coconut. But honestly, I made it my business to eat a coconut a day. I drink the water and I eat the insides. I'm gonna pick at it till I eat all of it. I actually have to, let me cut a little bit more off. I have my little mini chopper here. I need a machete. For an island girl, that's what I'm missing in life. Someone need to find me a machete for my birthday. I don't think I could claim to be a real island girl and not have a machete. Like, that doesn't even make sense. But yeah. So that's all it is. Honestly, that's where I've been at mentally, is not allowing my sad story to dictate where I go in life, what I do in life, how I move in life, and what comes forth in life, right? Because oftentimes, if you stay and live in that space, you never grow. You live without expectation because you just always think that sad things are gonna happen. You don't appreciate good things because you know it's going to end. You know that thing that they say, all good things come to an end? You start to live like that, like something good come in your life and it's like, I get it, but I know it's gonna leave soon. Somebody good come in your life, I appreciate them, but you don't even really grasp or love the person right because they're gonna leave soon. You have a friend, you don't appreciate the friend because we're gonna fall out in a year or two, so there's no point of me going deep like that. You gotta live with expectation that good things do come to you. Good things will happen to you. Although you've had a sad story, you can still live in expectancy and knowing that good things might come. Good things will come. Why do you think good things won't come to you? Why? Why would good things to come everybody else, but good things won't come to you? What is it about you that doesn't deserve good things? Those are the questions I've had to ask myself. Yes, you got a sad story, boo. But why do you think that good things won't come to you? Why do you think that everyone else should expect great things, but every time something good comes in your life, it's just going to leave? Every time great things happen, you know, like I'm constantly waiting for bad things to happen. I could save a little bit. I'm like, something going to happen. I'm going to have to spend it. I already know, because that's the trajectory of how my life has been. But it's not always like that, and I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live in my sad story. I don't want to live within the roots of those sad stories. Like, I get it. I get it. It's here, and it's always going to be there. There's a part of my heart my sad story resides. And every time things go bad, it's like it uproots, and it reminds me of all the bad things that have happened in my life. And this is why bad things are going to continuously happen, because bad things have always happened. And I'm like, I don't want to trigger my mind like that. I don't want to constantly think about stuff like that. I don't. I'm like, why? That's why I came up with a rule. I'm not going to repeat the same sad story. I'm not going to keep. I don't want to live in that area. I don't want to be upset too long. I don't want to be upset too long. But yeah, that's the Sunday message. That is the Sunday message. Don't live in your sad story. We get it. Harbor on it. Let it. It's always going to be there. It's a scar. It's a scar that you have to carry for the rest of your life. That part of your sad story. But it doesn't need to be the rest of your life. It doesn't. Because good things are going to come to you. And when you trigger your mind to think like that, you see the good in everything. You even with the bad things that happen, you just see the good in it. Like, again, I could have died in a car accident. I really could have. I could have actually had my daughter in there, but it didn't happen with my daughter in it. I dropped her off, and on my way home, literally I dropped her off, and let's just say I made it down 2 blocks, and then boom, car accident. Imagine if my daughter was in it, she would have been traumatized. That would have been her first car accident as well. But now she lives to say that she's never been in a car accident. Knock on wood. Knock on something. Anything. But that's the reality of it. So I'm triggering my brain to think and remember of those things. Like, it could have been worse. Something worse could have happened, but it didn't. Be grateful. Fix the issue. And that's another thing too that I've always prayed on. I think that's the part I didn't get in this message. So from the time I was little, again, I have a sad story, right? So part of my sad story, at some point when it was prior to even getting saved, when I started building my relationship with Christ, I used to say this prayer, and I used to always pray, and I prayed that on everybody's life. And if you haven't prayed that prayer, you may want to pray it. But I've always asked God, Lord, just, you know, I know I'm going to go through a lot of burden in life. I know things are going to be bad, but I prayed if you could just help me to provide me with the resources I need when things arise. That's all I ask for. Put the right people in place. Give me the resources. Give me the funds. And when bad things happen, if I have enough in my account and it's just enough to handle it, I'm okay. I'm not going to complain that, oh my God, I only had 5,000, now it's gone because I had to handle that. There's people in the world that don't have the 5,000. I gave you the 5,000. The resources are there. The resources are there. Maybe I didn't pray high enough. I didn't ask God not to allow bad things to happen, but bad things are going to happen. Who am I? I'm no special. Look at the things that God, Jesus went through for me to ask him not to allow bad things to happen to me. It's going to happen. But the most I can do is to pray to God that he would spare me, that he would provide me with the resources. And I kid you not, in every part of my sad story, I can tell you there was someone there to pick me up. There was someone there during my sad story to help me. In every instance of my life, there was like an angel in every situation, just there to build me up with everything, I got into this car accident. I should have been, you know, had I been with the wrong person, he would have been mad about his car, and especially when someone loves their car. And that wasn't even the case. It was more so, are you okay? We're going to get it fixed. It's going to get fixed. And just to have the circle of people to rally around you to make sure that you're good. Like, you're good. Emotionally, you're good. And then it was a reminder again. You prayed for it and I got you. You told me to make sure I have you, you pray that I keep the right people in place, and I've kept the right person in place for you. So can I not be grateful? Should I not be grateful? Like, how ungrateful would I be if I sat up here and been stressed and been depressed and been dragging around for a month because I got into a car accident, but he gave me the resources. I'm still alive. The car is fixable. I have resources for people that's assisting me to fix it. And then you're still upset. Like, what do you think? You're perfect. Life shouldn't happen to you? Like, life is happening to everybody else, but you're not in a bubble where life will happen. I'm not untouchable. No matter how good of a person you are. No matter how much of a homebody you are. Like, people are like, oh, you never drive, you never go out. I don't. I take my daughter to school and come right back home. The furthest you find me is at a grocery store. Maybe Ross. But it's those little things that I constantly pray on, and I'm like, I'm just grateful, man. I am just grateful. When you see me, know that I got a sad story. It's on my chest. It stays in on my shoulders. It's a chip on my shoulder. It's the devil in my ear reminding me constantly of that sad story that I got. But I'm at the right hand now with God, just reminding, like, I know I got a sad story, but I know there's different. I know you have more for me. And I got to stop letting the little things on the left shoulder cause me not to experience the things on the right. I got to move from over there to over here. So that's what I've been working on. It's just mentally telling myself, like, keep it moving. It happened. Keep it moving. You didn't feel appreciated, but keep it moving. You didn't feel loved. Keep it moving. You probably wasn't protected, but keep it moving. And you had to graduate. When you went to school, you didn't get the support you needed, but you graduated. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. You got a job right before the pandemic that you didn't even apply for. You didn't even know a pandemic was coming. Keep it moving. I got you. A part of my sad story also has these instances where I can see God's hand on my life. Like, if I tell you my sad story, I can also tell you points where I feel like God had his hand on my life. Like, I remember from the time I was a little girl, I had this job. I was like a photographer, taking pictures. I was 16 years old at the time. I didn't even turn 17 yet. 16 years old, I used to work a little part-time job as a photographer. I remember I used to catch the bus. I used to get off the bus and I would walk a block or two to get to the job. And it was this guy sitting there, like, he was a bum. Excuse my French, but he was like a junkie. He was a bum. He had a beer in his hand, like 2 or 3 beer bottles in front of him and a beer in his hand. He was just topping over, sitting on the car stop thing. And I'm like, I'm scared at this point. Mind you, I'm tiny now, but I was tinier back then. Tiny, very extremely skinny. And I'm walking, and I'm trying to, like, he's here, and I'm trying to walk around him so I can get to the little alley, it's like a little block so I can get to the job. And he's like, hey, come here. And I'm like, hell no. I'm trying to walk away. He's like, no, come here. He's like, come here. And then I was like, this man is drunk. But then he looked at me with the seriousness. And I looked at him like, he's really drunk. There's no way he can run after me, grab me. And it's like, we're in an open area. Like, the bus stop is right there. People can see. It's not like he's hiding in a corner or anything. So I walk a little closer to him. He was like, let me tell you something about you. He said, let me tell you something. At this point, he's not drunk. Like, this man has sobered up. He is speaking. And I'm like, he was like, what he said? Whatever he said, he spoke on a relationship. First of all, I was in a relationship I had no business being in. I was a child. He spoke on that, how I needed to leave that. But he also told me, I'm different. He said, you're different. And he was like, throughout your life, you're going to realize how different you are. And I had already, at that point in my life, I had already realized how different I was. So I hated high school. I couldn't fit in. It's like I was a popular kid, but I hated the popularity. Like, I didn't like the people. I didn't like the attention that came with it, right? So yeah, I could say hi. I was a majorette, and it was cool. My brother was a senior, and so everybody kind of knew us. I have other siblings. Like, I've been in the same school from middle school, elementary school, middle school, and high school. So I kind of grew up with these people. Everybody, we all moved up together. So, but I hated it. I hated it. A lot of the things that happened in school, I didn't agree with. A lot of the way the girls were, I didn't agree with. I knew I was in the wrong place. But the guy told me that, and he was like, you're like a butterfly. And then I'm like, this man got to be drunk. But as I got older, for whatever reason, I could never forget him. I could never forget that conversation because situations would happen and I'm like, I realize I am different. I am absolutely different. Um, I've gone through a lot, but I'm different. And that's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay not to want to be part of the crowd. And I think that's what I was struggling with the most in high school is I was part of a crowd and I didn't want to be part of the crowd. Like I was part of the crowd and I was uncomfortable being part of the crowd. It made me uncomfortable because I didn't agree with a lot of the things that the people in the crowd were doing. And because I was part of the crowd, I felt like I was stuck and I didn't like that feeling. I felt like just because you're part of a crowd, whatever the crowd does, you're automatically associated with it. And I didn't want to be associated with half of what the crowd was doing, but I was stuck there because I'm part of the crowd. Like I grew up with these folks, and now they're doing this because now we're in high school and they're doing this, and I don't agree with what you're doing. I don't agree with what you're doing. I don't agree how you talk about this person. I don't agree with how you guys are getting into fights. Like I didn't agree with a lot of it, but I was stuck in that group. So I said all that to say, we all gotta say, my story might be different than your story. You may not be an immigrant like me. You may have not, been stuck in a Chrome Center. You didn't lose your mother, not because she died, but because she had to move out of the country at the age of 15, 16 years old, where you had to live on your own, raise yourself, raise your siblings. I've been working since I was 15 years old, nonstop. The longest I've been without a job was when I went on maternity leave for 6 weeks for my daughter. But I've always taken care of myself. And as much as that's part of my sad story, you know what that taught me? And it took my pastor, the church I used to go to, for him to make me realize that. He said, that taught you responsibility. And he said, you don't know why. And God, in his providence, God, we can talk about this all day. When I tell you, and every so often, God will bring me to my remembrance a lot of the things that I've gone through. And I realize that in every bad situation, again, I repeat, I can see God's hand on my life. Because when I was younger, I spent a lot of time with my mother, being the oldest daughter, right? I had 2 younger sisters, but I spent the most time with my mom. And I was the only one responsible for cooking, cleaning, ironing clothes, washing, going to the grocery store with my mom, cleaning out the refrigerator. I felt like I was the maid in the house. I had younger siblings, but everything was on me. So when everybody played outside on Saturday mornings or watching cartoon, I was cleaning out the refrigerator because when my mom get home from work, we got to go grocery shopping. I'm the only one that can cook, but let's not get there yet. I was always stuck. My dad had a rule: your mom is cooking, you need to be in the kitchen with her. And it agitated me. Like I hated my dad for it because it's like, why I always got to be in the kitchen? Like what happened to I have a sister that's 3 years younger than me. Why is she not in the kitchen? Like she could learn too. Like at what point we could switch to like she could do Mondays, I could do Tuesday. Why I gotta do Monday through like Sunday through like I'm always in the kitchen. Like I want to take turns. But it was never like that, and I got so annoyed with the fact that I was constantly in the kitchen with my mom. But with the hand of God, now at this age, my late 30s, understanding that now I cook. I can be a chef if I want to. Nobody got me in the kitchen like I got me in the kitchen, okay? My siblings can't cook like me. If I see something I'm craving, I'm going to cook it. I can cook anything. I mean, from here to here, tell me, whatever it is. But had my dad had not had me in the kitchen with my mom at a young age, by 12 years old, I'm making legume, I'm making sauce bar, I'm like cooking at 12. At 12. I've been cooking real tough, hard meals at 12 years old. But had my dad not been so tough with me with being in the kitchen, I would have never learned. My mom left me when I was 15, 16 years old and moved to another country. I still could cook me Thanksgiving dinner by myself with my mom not there. I have my daughter and I could still cook her Thanksgiving dinner. I'm talking about real good dinner. Not no microwavable. No, my daughter never ate microwavable food. But that's because of the things that my dad had me do. So within my sad stories, there's always good in it. You just got to think. There's always good that come out of your sad stories. Yeah, I can say that I had a sad story. I felt like I was a slave when I was a kid. I was always in the kitchen. I was always cleaning, always at the grocery store with my mama. But guess what? You know what I learned with being at the grocery store with my mama? I learned how to look for deals. So when my friends say I'm resourceful, yeah. Because before I go to the grocery store, I know where everything is at on sale. I just brought 10 lines for 98 cents, sweetheart. Okay? I could have went to Publix and got, 59 cents each? Oh, okay. Resourceful. Cheers. You know where I got that from? My mother. Grocery shopping with her, my mom would always go. Like, there was a little flea market, Opalaka flea market, that she would go to, and she'd get her fruits and her vegetables from there, because they would have like these little dollar baskets. So she'll come home. My dad would probably give my mom, say, might have given her $100 for groceries, and my mom might have the whole refrigerator stacked up. I'm talking about, because even right now, like fruits, vegetables, she had her meats, she had everything, and it's only because of the fact that she had to learn to budget. She had to learn to budget. I learned how to budget, and whether I have the money or not, I'm still going to budget, because that's how I was raised. I'm not going to Publix for 59-cent lime when I can go to Bravo down the street and get it for 10 for 98 cents. I got $2 worth of limes, 20 limes for $2. There's good that comes in all of it. There's good in all of it. It is all working for your good. That's what Sunday message, it was all working for my good. All the bad things, all the bad things, all the bad things, all the bad things. When I came here, I was put in a Chrome for 2 weeks without my parents. I didn't have anyone with me. I lived in this Chrome Center with a stranger. Slept in a bed with a stranger in a country I knew nothing about. But guess what? That taught me how to be alone. That taught me how to be alone. And I'm okay with being alone. I'm okay. Who would have known at 15, 16 years old, I'll be sleeping in the bed without my mom or my siblings? Who would have known? But God in his foreknowledge already knew that. It's like training me up already. I could talk about this all day long. I could tell y'all a million stories. Again, I got a sad stories on my chest. I lived a sad life. I just don't talk about it, because I don't let it control who I am. And I started to get to this sad space again in my life, where I started to think about the sad things. And I don't want to live there. I don't want to reside there anymore. Sometimes you got to forgive people, even if they don't ask for forgiveness. Y'all heard me? I said it. Sometimes you got to forgive them folks, even when they don't ask for forgiveness. They don't feel like they've done anything wrong. You've forgiven them for your peace. I'm learning that. Even when they don't remember the story, they don't remember what was done, you got to learn to forgive them. Hold on, y'all. Let me approve this phone. I got screen time on my daughter's phone. I don't play that mess. She'll be on TikTok for 35 hours. But yeah, I'm going to go. It's about 50 minutes. But that's the message I wanted to spread today. I don't know who's going to watch this message. It may not go anywhere. But if it's one person that watches this and just, know not to live in their sad story, that's what it was for. Let your sad story go. Good things will come to you. You deserve good things. You've made bad decisions and you've had horrible consequences and circumstances in life, but good things come too. Good things will come. And in the midst of all those good things that came, the bad things that you experienced, you learned something. And whatever you learned, you're taking it with you to the next chapter. The experience was not in vain. I might need to say that part again. Your experiences were not in vain. Be accepting of it, but don't allow it to trigger you to stay in that space. So that's all I got for y'all today on this good old Sunday. I appreciate you all. I gotta move forward to trigger the light. There you go. Anyways, I'm out of here, y'all. So that's what it is. June is almost over, and I didn't meet the goal that I wanted to. I did shorts, but I didn't do full form videos. I wanted to go live at least once a week or twice a week. I didn't really do that. This is probably like my second live. I think I went live last Sunday. I gotta get on the ball. I gotta, and we're not gonna start that message, but I'm gonna tell you, just be obedient. That's another message. Like, God been working on me on a lot of things. Just be obedient. And that's how I got into the car crash, because I wasn't obedient. Because the Holy Spirit told me something, and I didn't listen, and I didn't take action right away. And so I'm constantly reminded of, if the Lord say to get up and go right now, get up and go. When your spirit tell you to go do something, just go do it. You don't know why. You don't know why. If your spirit tell you get up and go lock the door, just get up and go lock the door. Don't try to rationalize in your mind. Did I lock the door? Did I not lock the door? It told you to go lock the door. If it's locked, it's locked. If it's not, it's not. But just get up. How you know somebody's not walking towards your door to come rob you, to kill you? You just wasted the 5 minutes to spare your life because you wanted to contemplate whether or not you did it or not. You don't know why you're being asked to do it. Just, it's obedience. It's really obedience. And sometimes, I'll be the first to say that I lack obedience a lot of the times. I'm lazy, inconsistent. For instance, God put it on my heart to work out. Well, first of all, I went to the doctor and so much was going on with my body. I honestly thought I was sick. I started eating healthy. I started working out, thinking something is wrong. Whole time, I get my test results. So I'm like working out. I'm trying to change my eating habits. Man, I'm eating pumpkin seed. I'm eating all types of things. My test results came back and I was fine. But it's funny how all of a sudden I could be obedient when I thought my life was on the line. No, but you can't be obedient now because God is like, I've been telling you that for the last 2 years to work out. I've been telling you to do just basic little things and you failed to do that. But now you can go walk for an hour a day. An hour a day. I'm up 6:30 walking because I thought my health was on the line. But you couldn't have been obedient all that time. Yeah, I'm triggered. God been at my chest. God got me on a chokehold all month long. God has me on a chokehold. The lessons that I'm learning and the accountability, I'm constantly in repentance. Like, God forgive me for my disobedience. God forgive me for thinking that I know. God forgive me for taking this life for granted, which I do take it for granted. Because I would lay up in this bed and do nothing. Like, you ever just thank God for the things that you have? Like the fact that I got 2 legs. Like, I could actually move my legs. I'm grateful. The fact that my fingers could all day, grateful. Them lips that be moving, I just sat there and spun 51. Grateful. Grateful. The heart that's beating, grateful. Grateful. The fact that I could hear, grateful. I'm healthy. The fact that I could see, smell, grateful. I'm grateful for my senses. I'm grateful. Sometimes you just gotta, that's enough to say thank you. Like, we take it for granted, but then you think there's others that don't have it. Like, I watch people get their legs amputated. I watch people, lose their eyesight. I've just seen a lady that said that she lost her hearing out of one ear. I would feel so weird. And I don't want to take my hearing for granted because Lord knows at any given time he could take it away. But I can go on for days, y'all. I won't bore you with my life stories, but cheers to Sunday. Today's Sunday. We're going to have a great week. We're going to be obedient this week. We're going to do what the Holy Spirit tells us to do. We're going to exercise. We're going to drink our water. We're going to drink our coconut water. We're going to eat healthy. We're going to pray. Pray. We're going to work out. And we're not going to take life for granted. We're not going to worry about this government. We're not going to worry about what they got going on. You just got to get your heart right, your life right. I'm not even paying attention to what they got going on because they can't do nothing for me. I got my eyes on the one that can. That's it. So that's all I got to say about that. Catch y'all next Sunday. I think I might go live next Sunday. If not, if I got time this week, I will. But I'll work on dropping some videos. I appreciate y'all. All 1,100 and something, 80 something of y'all. Appreciate y'all for joining me with my inconsistency. Y'all still love me, so it's all good. Love y'all. Bye. I gotta go. Cheers. Bye.